Welcome to your new SideQuest podcast with the intention of helping you through the game of life with mindful reframing and awareness as we all move through this journey called the human experience. It's time to level up. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your new SideQuest. Am I attractive enough? Today, we are talking about attraction when it comes to dating. Is there a blueprint to what people generally find attractive? Like physical traits, disposition, extrovert, introvert, macho, etc. We're gonna talk about our own experiences of what attraction feels like and kind of like our recent experience of being surprised by what others found attractive. Me and Zach, we were kind of like shopping around in this bath store like in Alwana. I think it was a few months ago, and I have this friend that was texting me and he was kind of frustrated because he kind of has a thing for these two girls that are in my inner circle, but like no matter what he does, he tries to make his presence very like grand, that like they don't even care so much that like he got so frustrated. And I told him, I was like, dude, why are you getting mad? Like you're not even on their radar. And plus they have like boyfriends, right? So why are you trying to get their attention? It kind of brought up this idea of how like everybody's level of attraction or like their tastes are like so different, and I don't think we have to try too hard to try to be so big on their radar, because you don't really have any control over that.
Yeah. So you mentioned that we put a lot of emphasis on physical traits and disposition, and if a person is extroverted and introverted. So let's go into detail what the conventional standard is always like, especially in like media too.
Well, for a man, I would say they're like 6 feet tall,
6 feet,
or
six-figure income,
right,
6-inch bodo,
or like muscular, manly, like something that
extroverted, boisterous, loud.
right. I would say that that's the conventional textbook description of what a man should be, and also is considered attractive by society. I think for girls in media is like symmetrical face, big boobs, big ass,
Yeah.
like hourglass shape, long hair.
Yeah, different countries have standards of beauty, but yeah, like in the Western society, we emphasize a lot on symmetry, for
Right.
sure.
So it's so strange because like I I myself have my own subjective taste in women, and I think we were discussing like on the side about something about like, oh, I think this girl is cute and you think this girl is cute, and then we also like talk about other girls and we're like, nah, that's your type, like,
Yeah.
but it's not mine, like we
Yeah.
had those like side conversations before. So it's totally, yeah, overall it felt like it was just totally subjective. We can't control really what others find attractive.
Yeah, let's start with like talking about each other's type. Like Derek, I know you have like a certain type of woman that you like.
So physically, like the physical traits of what I find attractive for in a girl is, of course, she's healthy looking, like not too meaty.
Good skin.
Yeah, good skin, and like I actually like lighter skin versus like tanner skin. That's
Yeah.
just like my taste. Um, I like petite girls too because it fits my size because I'm kind of small too.
Same.
But yeah, how about you? What do you like?
I like yeah, like more petite girls, smaller, preferably shorter, but I have dated girls who are about my height or a little taller. I really like girls that have like good skin too, like the kind of skin that just glows, and her body figure too. Yeah, I just appreciate girls that like to stay fit, stay in shape and stuff.
I think it's more about aligning with values.
Yeah.
Like our, I guess, a surface level values, right? Like for me, it's health is a big one because like if I know she doesn't if I assume she doesn't take care of herself, like by just physical appearance, then I know like, oh, okay, we don't really match in that way.
Yeah. So I wonder if girls have that same checklist in their heads when they think of the perfect guy. And that was like something that I was like kind of struggling with, is trying to fit into that checklist. Like for a while, I was struggling with trying to accept that I'm not like conventionally attractive as a man. Like I'm not tall, I'm not like dark skinned, and yeah, I'm not like super masculine with like facial hair and stuff like that. But I've come to accept that everyone has their own subjective taste when it comes to like the opposite gender and stuff. So sometimes it's a little surprising, but I've come to realize that there are women who are attracted to me, who are also attracted to you too, right?
You're totally right. And how about let's talk about a situation where we didn't even have to try. And
Yes. So this happened to me in one of my previous relationships, but I met this girl who was from San Diego, and when I flew out to see her, we already had a pretty good friendship and conversation going back and forth through like messaging. And before we met up, it was kind of established that we were going to be friends, and I kind of like I kind of knew there was going to be more than friends with that, but I still was myself. Like I just kind of behaved how I normally did. And at the end of the day, we ended up together, and she told me that like she was really attracted by like how excited I was about, capturing things with my camera and all these things that I didn't expect a woman would be attracted by. Like, for example, like how I would carry myself and stuff. So it's those little things that I didn't see.
so it wasn't really physical. It was more like the energy that you were giving off.
Yeah, the energy. And then also, there was like another girl last year who I met through a mutual friend. We all went hiking as a group, and afterwards, a few days later, somehow got my number from my mutual friend, and she texted me saying that she thought I was cute. And so that was a lot of validation for me there.
Yeah, that must have felt good because you didn't even have to try. Right.
Yeah. That was surprising for me as someone that growing up didn't think of myself as like conventionally attractive.
I actually can relate to that because all my life, I told you once before that like I never thought as myself as being someone who's attractive, but it's kind of funny because I mostly hear it from dudes more than girls, but like I it would be like a side comment like where my friends would be like, "Oh, there, you sexy," or like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you handsome." I'm like,
Girls
I,
are less obvious for
y-
sure. Like they hide it.
yeah, I wish I could have received that compliment more from women. But I did before too, like in my previous relationships, they would call me handsome, and there's this part of me that's like kind of limiting that,
Like
right?
doubting that a little
Doubting,
bit.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, you're just saying that because you're like you're with me.
Yeah.
But like in a recent situation where it's kind of funny because like a sperm donor company reached out to me, and they basically said that their boss reached out to me because she thought I was cute, and that was like extremely validating. So I at that point in my life, I learned to accept those compliments and just try to actually believe it this time
Wow.
because yeah, like I said, all my life I never thought that I was,
Yeah.
cute or attractive.
So the sperm donor chose you because they liked your physical appearance.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it was extremely validating and it kind of like offset that limiting belief now. It's like, okay, I can just like roll with it and not be too like cocky about it, but more like, okay, like I'm actually more than what I thought I believed I was.
Yeah. So as long as you're not butt ugly, there's still hope.
I think it's more like, yeah, what is butt ugly though, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Like deformed face
I
or
mean,
something.
or like something just not symmetrical, right? But overall, we all have like our imperfections. So we ran into this situation where in our social group, we we learned that one of our friends found someone attractive.
You're like a girl finding a guy attractive.
Yeah. And me and Zach, we were both in shock and in disbelief when we learned this information because yeah, you can
Yeah.
explain.
Like for a while, we were wondering what her type of guy would look like because at one point we did think like she was cute too.
Oh, she is cute. Yeah, she's a
Yeah.
cute girl.
She's
Yeah.
cute, so maybe she could go for someone like that's, tall, conventionally handsome.
We were all thinking conventional like
Yeah.
man.
But what we found out was she liked one of our friends who sometimes comes and shows up, but he's not really ripped or anything. He's not the tallest guy. He's just about as tall as us.
Yeah, and he's not like energetically, he's not like masculine either.
Yeah, he's kind of dorky, right?
He's kind of derpy, dorky, and he's all into like Pokemon
Yeah.
and video games and
Yeah.
you know.
So like, what did she describe him as? Like, why does she like? What does she see in him?
She like leaves these like side comments like under her breath. She would say like, "Oh, he's so cute," and when I learned that, I was like, "Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that he would be her type."
Yeah.
And what did you think when you found out?
I was in disbelief too. I mean, I can kind of see it, but I don't know. Like, I just thought different. Yeah, I was like, what did she see in him? Yeah,
So I think in that way it was kind of like our both our insecurities kind of projecting outward. Like, oh, she shouldn't like this type of guy because he's not a conventional dude, right?
yeah.
I think it's more of like our own insecurities.
I think let's kind of talk about that because when that comes out and we're kind of projecting ourselves onto that situation, I feel like that's kind of a sign that we are also trying to compare ourselves to this checklist.
Yeah, that's true.
That comparison. But yeah, at first it's like comparison, but also it's making us kind of think about this idea of like, are we good enough? Like figuring out like, why aren't we chosen by them?
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. Like we're trying to understand logically why we ourselves wasn't chosen by a cute girl,
Yeah,
right?
and we're trying to gauge like where on the scale are we in terms of like
Right.
attractive enough, good enough.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's more of like the horizontal alignment. Yeah,
And it's like we discussed, there's no blueprint on what attractive is to everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like we said, we don't have any control over what someone else finds attractive. It's honestly best not to try to change ourselves to become what someone else wants because that's basically self-abandonment.
yeah.
So, what would you say what we learned in terms of attraction?
Some of the big things that we learned about attraction is realizing that attraction isn't earned by performing, like performing to be good enough or to earn love. It's actually discovered through being who you are, just existing on this earth.
Just authentically you. Right?
Yeah. Authentically you. Confidence comes from being rooted in your own values, not from being on someone else's radar. Everyone is not meant to be attracted to you, and that's okay. Try to look for alignment over approval. That's a powerful one. I really like alignment over approval.
Because then you're just like, you're not performing to earn, you're just authentically being and open to receive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, it kind of sets us all as like, we're all equal in a way. It's just a matter of like finding the right fit.
Yeah. Or like, just being grounded in yourself so that the right person will be drawn to you because they will, right? Like you would never know when you're someone's type.
Yeah.
You could be like a dork loving Pokemon and video games and just someone could just be deeply in love with you for just being that way, right?
Yeah, and it'll definitely feel good once that person chooses you. But if they don't, and you suddenly start doubting whether or not you're good enough and why you weren't chosen, just remember that like it has nothing to do with your worth.
because we're all inherently valuable and worthy of love.
Yeah.
So let's run into the mindful reframing here. Instead of chasing and looking for external signs of attraction, focus on yourself and letting the right people be attracted to you. So, yeah, let's just end it right here.
Yeah. If you guys enjoyed listening to this podcast, be sure to give us 5 stars on Spotify as well as Apple Podcast. Give us a like as well as subscribe for watching this on YouTube as well. This is your new SideQuest podcast, and thank you for listening.
Psycho is complete.